The world awakens under a blanket of deep indigo, a lone star still glitters, a final diamond against the velvet sky. A soft, cool breeze whispers across the land. It carries the scent of damp earth and distant rain. This is the African savanna, a place of immense scale. A kingdom of grass that stretches to meet the curve of the earth itself. The horizon is a clean, sharp line, separating the dark land from the slowly brightening heavens. A hush lies over everything. It is a silence filled with anticipation, the quiet breath before the day's first note is sung. The air itself feels ancient and full of stories. A subtle shift begins as the indigo sky softens to a gentle periwinkle. A thin ribbon of incandescent orange appears at the edge of the world. The light spills slowly, cautiously across the plains, revealing a landscape of profound emptiness and staggering beauty. The grasses, still wet with dew, are a deep muted green, almost black in the low light. Scattered across this sea of green are the silhouettes of acacia trees. Their flat tops create stark, graphic shapes against the growing dawn. Distant hills, once invisible, now emerge as soft, purple smudges. The world is being painted into existence, stroke by delicate stroke. The sounds begin to rise with the light. A far-off bird calls, a single piercing note that hangs in the crisp air. It is answered by another, then another, creating a scattered chorus. The low hum of insects begins its gentle thrumming, a constant living vibration. You can almost hear the rustle of the wind as it weaves through the tall blades of grass, creating waves that ripple across the plains. It is a sound like the softest sigh, a gentle rhythmic percussion that underscores the profound stillness. This is the orchestra of the savanna tuning its instruments before the grand performance of the day. The sun finally breaks free. It is a sphere of molten gold, flooding the landscape with a brilliant warm light that transforms everything it touches. The deep greens of the grass ignite into a dazzling emerald. The purple hills burn with a rosy blush. The dark trunks of the acacias are now a rich, earthy brown. The sky is a vast, cloudless canvas of the most brilliant, piercing blue. The sheer, raw power of the sun commands the land. It banishes the last shadows of the night, and declares that a new day has begun in this timeless, wild expanse. It is a world reborn. Upon a rocky outcrop, a collection of granite boulders known as a kopje, the rulers of this kingdom survey their domain. They are a magnificent sight, a pride of lions. Their bodies, draped over the warm stone, are the color of sun-bleached honey. They are perfectly still, statues carved from muscle and might. This is the Mapogo Pride, a name whispered on the wind, a symbol of strength and survival. Their presence is a powerful anchor in the ever-shifting life of the savanna. They are the apex, the heart of this wild place. Their unity is their fortress, their bond their greatest weapon. The patriarch of the pride is a colossal male. His mane is a glorious cascade of jet black and dark ochre, framing a face of noble severity. Scars, faint white lines etched into his tawny skin, tell stories of countless battles fought and won. He lifts his heavy head, his amber eyes scanning the horizon with an unwavering gaze. He is the guardian, the protector. His immense power is held in a state of calm readiness. Beside him, several lionesses rest. Their coats are a sleeker, paler gold. Their muscles ripple beneath their skin even in repose. They are the hunters, the providers, the nurturers of the future. This pride is more than just a group of predators. It is a complex family, a society with its own rules, its own language of soft growls, head rubs, and subtle gestures. The bonds here are forged in the shared experiences of the hunt, the feast, and the quiet hours of rest. They rely on each other for everything, for safety from rivals, for success in bringing down formidable prey, and for the raising of their young. This deep, instinctual cooperation is the secret to their long reign. They are a single entity, moving and thinking as one. Their collective strength is far greater than the sum of their individual parts. Their role in this vast ecosystem is vital. they maintain the delicate balance. By hunting the large herbivores, they prevent overgrazing and ensure the grasslands remain healthy and vibrant. Their presence sends ripples through the entire food web, influencing the behavior of every creature, from the nervous herds of zebra to the scavenging hyenas that follow in their wake. The lions are not just inhabitants of the savannah, they are its architects. They are the force that shapes this world, the living embodiment of its raw, untamed power and its intricate, beautiful order. For much of the day, the lions are masters of inertia. The sun climbs higher in the brilliant blue sky, casting a stark, hot glare upon the land. The air grows heavy and still. The sounds of the morning fade into a shimmering, heat-hazed silence. The pride seeks refuge from the oppressive warmth. They lie scattered in the dappled shade beneath a sprawling sausage tree, its thick, gnarled branches providing a welcome canopy. Their golden bodies are relaxed, limbs sprawled in an attitude of complete surrender to slumber. A soft piano melody seems to drift on the air, a lullaby for these mighty beasts. Their breathing is deep and even. A massive paw twitches, chasing a dream-bound gazelle. A tail a shade darker than burnt caramel flicks lazily to dismiss a persistent fly. A low, contented rumble, like distant thunder, emanates from the chest of a sleeping male. This is not laziness, it is a vital conservation of energy. The hunt requires an explosive output of power, and these long hours of rest are the necessary preparation. They are charging their reserves, gathering their strength for the cooler hours of dusk when their true work will begin. Every moment of stillness is an investment in the coming chase. The cubs of the pride, however, are not so committed to rest. They are bundles of boundless energy, their coats a downy, spotted camouflage. They tumble and play among the sleeping adults, their movements clumsy and full of youthful exuberance. One cub stalks its mother's tail, pouncing with a mock ferocity that earns it a gentle warning cuff from a giant paw. Another engages in a wrestling match with its sibling, a flurry of soft paws and tiny, harmless growls. Their play is more than just a game, it is practice. It is the rehearsal for the serious business of being a lion. Even in this peaceful domestic scene, the unity of the pride is evident. An older lioness, her face scarred and wise, lifts her head to groom a restless cub with her rough, pink tongue. The dominant male tolerates the youngsters climbing over his broad back with a weary patience. These interactions strengthen the social fabric of the family. They are lessons in tolerance, in hierarchy, and in affection. Within the formidable power of the pride lies this tender core of community. It is a sanctuary of safety and learning, hidden in plain sight under the African sun. As the sun begins its slow descent, the quality of the light changes once more. The harsh white glare of midday softens into a rich, golden luminescence. This is the golden hour. It bathes the savannah in a warm, ethereal glow. The long shadows of the acacias stretch like dark fingers across the plains. The air begins to cool, and the gentle breeze returns, carrying the scent of dust and dry grass. A sense of transition fills the atmosphere. The world is holding its breath between the languor of the day and the drama of the night. A single low note from an orchestral string section hangs in the air, full of suspense. The lions begin to stir. A great yawn from the patriarch reveals a cavernous mouth and formidable, ivory-white canines. He stretches his powerful forelegs, claws unsheathed, digging into the soft earth. One by one, the lionesses rise. They stretch their long, supple bodies with a feline grace that belies their immense strength. They greet one another with low rumbles and by rubbing their heads and flanks together, reinforcing the bonds that are so crucial for the coming task. Their amber eyes, which were soft and sleepy just moments before, are now sharp and focused. The lethargy of the afternoon has vanished completely. This is a time of heightened activity for all the savannah's inhabitants. The herds of wildebeest and zebra, which spent the hot day grazing placidly, are now more alert. They cluster together, their heads up, ears swiveling to catch the slightest sound. The air is filled with their nervous calls and the stamping of their hooves. They know that the changing light provides cover for the hunters. The risk is palpable. The entire landscape seems to thrum with a nervous energy, a collective awareness that the nightly dance between predator and prey is about to begin. The mood is thick with a quiet, thrilling tension. The pride gathers on the edge of the kopje, their golden forms silhouetted against the spectacular sunset. The sky is a masterpiece of fiery orange, deep magenta, and soft violet. The lions gaze out over their territory, their senses fully engaged. They listen to the distant calls of the herds. They watch for any sign of weakness or opportunity. Their stillness now is not one of rest, but of intense concentration. They are a council of hunters, planning their strategy in a silent language of shared instinct. The stage is set, the actors are in place, and the first act of the nightly drama is about to unfold. As the last sliver of the sun disappears, the sky deepens to a rich, bruised purple. The first stars begin to prick the darkness, and the world transforms into a realm of shadows and whispers. This is the lion's time. Their eyesight is, well, many times more sensitive than ours in the low light, giving them a supreme advantage. The lead huntress, a seasoned female with a lean, powerful frame, moves to the forefront. Her gaze is fixed on a distant shape, a dark mass moving slowly across the plains. It is a herd of buffalo, formidable and dangerous prey. The soft piano notes from before return, but now they are slower, more deliberate, building a quiet suspense. The decision is made without a sound. The huntress turns and looks at the other females. A subtle dip of her head is all it takes. The pride begins to move. They descend from the kopje with a ghostly silence. Their large, soft paws make no sound on the dry earth. They move low to the ground, their tawny bodies melting into the tall, straw-colored grasses. They are like wraiths, flowing through the landscape rather than moving across it. The wind is in their favor, carrying their scent away from their intended quarry. Every element of the environment is now a tool in their expert hands. The soundscape of the night is a complex tapestry. The ceaseless chirping of crickets provides a constant, high-pitched backdrop. From far away comes the eerie, whooping call of a hyena, a sound that seems to laugh at the darkness. A nightjar lets out its strange, churring cry. Against this chorus, the silence of the lions is even more profound. They move with a coordinated purpose that is, honestly, breathtaking to behold. They are not merely walking, they are flowing through the shadows, a river of silent golden predators on a mission of survival. Their focus is absolute, their senses tuned to the subtlest of cues. The pride begins to fan out. The lead huntress continues her direct approach, while others peel off to the left and right, their forms disappearing into the gloom. They are executing a complex, encircling maneuver that they have perfected over countless hunts. This is the power of the pride in action. It is a display of intelligence, communication, and flawless teamwork. A single lion would stand little chance against a full-grown buffalo, but together, they are a formidable force. The suspense is almost unbearable. The distance between hunter and hunted is closing, meter by silent meter. The moon, a pale, slender crescent, casts a faint, silvery light over the scene. It is just enough to reveal the dark, hulking shapes of the buffalo herd. They are grazing peacefully, unaware of the danger that is methodically closing in around them. The air is cool and still. The only movement is the slow, deliberate advance of the lionesses. Each step is placed with infinite care. A dry twig is avoided, a loose stone is bypassed. They move with the patience of eternity, their muscles coiled like powerful springs, ready to explode into action at the precise moment. The orchestral strings swell, holding a long, tense note. The lead huntress freezes. She is now within 100 meters of the herd. She has selected her target, an old bull that lags slightly behind the others. It is a calculated choice, a risk assessment made in an instant. The bull is huge and armed with massive curving horns, but its age may mean it is slower, less able to keep up with a panicked stampede. The lioness sinks even lower into the grass, until only the top of her head and her forward-pointing ears are visible. She is the embodiment of focus, a living projectile waiting for the signal to launch. The other lionesses have now taken up their positions. They form a wide, semicircle, a deadly net closing around the unsuspecting herd. Their positions are not random. They have used the contours of the land, the scattered bushes and termite mounds, as cover. They are invisible, silent specters in the moonlight. The coordination is astonishing. There are no sounds, no signals that a human could perceive, yet they move as a single, intelligent organism. This is the ancient wisdom of the pride, a symphony of stalking passed down through generations, performed now in the great dark theater of the savannah. The tension becomes a physical presence. You can feel it in the stillness of the air. The buffalo herd senses something is wrong. A few heads lift from the grass. A low, uneasy moo travels through the group. They bunch closer together, their dark bodies forming a defensive wall. They can smell the danger now, a faint predatory scent on the night air, but they cannot see its source. It is everywhere and nowhere. The moment is stretched thin, like a drawn bowstring. The world seems to pause, waiting for the inevitable, explosive release. The lead huntress makes her move. With a sudden, electrifying burst of speed, she explodes from her cover. Her powerful hind legs propel her forward in a blur of golden fur. The chase is on. The buffalo herd erupts in panic. The ground trembles under the thunder of hundreds of hooves as they stampede. A chaotic, terrified mass of muscle and horn. The air is torn by bellows of alarm and the pounding rhythm of the escape. The slow, suspenseful music is replaced by a dramatic percussive score, driving the action forward with relentless energy. The night's quiet is shattered. The lioness is a marvel of athletic prowess. She runs with a low, fluid grace, her body stretched out, covering the ground in enormous, powerful strides. Her eyes are locked on her chosen target, the old bull. She ignores the chaos of the rest of the herd, her focus absolute. She weaves through the stampeding animals, a golden arrow aimed at the heart of the confusion. The bull, realizing its peril, tries to rejoin the main group, but the huntress is already closing the gap, her speed and agility a stark contrast to the bull's heavy, lumbering gait. This is where the teamwork of the pride becomes critical. As the huntress drives the bull forward, another lioness emerges from the flank. She appears as if from nowhere, a silent threat designed to turn the bull, to steer it away from the safety of the herd and into the waiting trap. The bull, confused and terrified, changes direction, but it is a fatal mistake. It runs directly towards the position of a third and fourth lioness. They have anticipated this move perfectly. The net has been drawn tight. The bull is now isolated, cut off, and surrounded. The final confrontation is a maelstrom of power and primal fury. The lionesses converge on the bull. The first one leaps, her claws extended, latching onto the huge animal's flank. Another attacks from the rear, seeking to hamstring the powerful beast. The bull bellows in rage and pain, trying to shake them off, swinging its massive head and deadly horns. But the weight and tenacity of the lions are too much. They cling on, their combined strength slowly but surely dragging the colossal animal to the ground. It is a brutal, violent, and yet magnificent display of nature's raw power. The struggle is over. A profound silence descends once more upon the plains, broken only by the heavy breathing of the exhausted lionesses and the low guttural sounds of the feast. The rest of the pride now emerges from the shadows. The great male strides forward, his dark mane flowing. By right of his status, he eats first. The lionesses, who did all the work, wait patiently. There is no dispute. This is the law of the pride, the established order that ensures stability. His strength is the ultimate protection for the group, and his needs are paramount. The sounds of the meal are visceral and raw. The tearing of flesh, the cracking of bone. It is the sound of survival, the transfer of energy from one life form to another that sustains this entire ecosystem. Soon, the male moves aside, his hunger sated. The lionesses move in, their earlier cooperation giving way to a competitive but controlled jostling for position. They eat quickly, their golden coats now stained with the deep crimson red of their kill. Even in this moment of primal consumption, there is a sense of community. The feast is a shared reward for a shared effort. When the adults have had their fill, the cubs are allowed to approach. They emerge timidly from the long grass where they have been waiting. They are a comic sight, their small, fuzzy bodies trying to tackle the enormous carcass. They tug at scraps of meat, their tiny growls a miniature echo of their parents' power. This is another vital lesson. They are learning what it means to be a lion, tasting the fruits of the hunt, and understanding their place in the hierarchy. The adults watch them with a tolerant, sleepy gaze. The future of the pride is being secured. As the lions feed, the wider community of the savannah draws near. The bold spotted hyenas gather at a respectful distance, their eerie whoops and cackles filling the night. They are waiting for their turn, for the scraps the lions will leave behind. Jackals, smaller and more timid, dart in and out of the shadows, hoping to steal a quick mouthful. Nothing will be wasted here. The kill sustains not just the pride, but a whole network of other creatures. It is a stark and brutal reminder that in the savannah, life and death are inextricably linked in a constant vital cycle. The moon has climbed higher, casting a cold white light on the remains of the feast. The lions, their bellies full and round, have moved away to rest. They lie in a heap of golden bodies, their breathing deep and synchronized. They lick their wounds and groom each other's blood-stained fur, renewing their bonds in the aftermath of the intense hunt. The patriarch of the pride stands a little apart, a dark, majestic silhouette against the star-dusted sky. He lifts his head and lets out a roar. It is not a roar of aggression, but of declaration. The sound is immense, a deep, resonant tremor that rolls across the plains for miles. It starts as a low rumble in his chest and builds into a series of thunderous, booming coughs that seem to shake the very ground. It is the sound of absolute power, a statement of ownership. This is our land, it says. We are the Mapogo. We are here. The roar is answered by another, more distant call, a rival male acknowledging the territory's boundary. It is a conversation conducted across vast distances, a sonic map of power and presence drawn upon the darkness. As the echoes of the final roar fade away, a deep peace settles over the pride. The cubs, full and sleepy, are curled up against their mother's warm bodies, safe in the heart of the family. The night's great drama is over. The energy expended has been replenished. The pride is whole, strong and secure. They will sleep now, gathering their strength for the challenges that the next day will inevitably bring. The cycle of rest, hunt, and feast will begin again with the rising of the sun. It is a rhythm as old as the savannah itself. Here, in the immense quiet dark of the African night, one feels a profound sense of reverence. The world of the lions is a world of stark beauty, brutal necessity, and deep, abiding connection. To witness their lives is to glimpse something ancient and essential about the nature of life itself. They are more than just magnificent animals, they are a symbol of the untamed spirit of this wild land. As the first hint of dawn once again touches the eastern horizon, the pride rests, a timeless emblem of power and unity, their story whispered on the wind across the endless grass.